To this Loose Tales special report on April the 2nd, 2024. It seems as though many things have had their eyes, many people, places have had their eyes on Texas, a particular part of Texas for the better part of the last 2.5 months. Sid Miller has been right in the middle of that. The commissioner of Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Texas. Sid, I guess you've had kind of a busy day talking about what's going on in Texas.
Yes, sir. Good to be with you, Trent. It's been a busy day. You're correct.
So first, before we get to the cow situation as it involves H5N1 and what people are calling as high pathogen avian influenza, looking back now, what's the status of the ranches and the places that burned and with the wildfires that you had that were so massive, maybe 2 million acres? I don't know what that really ended up being. What's it look like now? What's going on, and how's that recovery coming?
Well, we're trying to recover. We lost over 7,000 head of cattle, but there's probably another, and this is my estimate, 15 to 20,000 that we either euthanize, will have to be sold for salvage because their hooves are burnt off or the udders are burnt. And probably for the next 6 months, Trent, we'll be culling cattle that have respiratory problems. Their lungs were burnt. They're full of smoke, and sometimes they're just not thrifty for a while, so those will probably end up being culled too. So it'll be an ongoing problem. It was about 1,300,000 acres, our largest fire ever. We lost 120 miles of electric lines, so a lot of those rural communities were without power for a while. Those are up and going again. We closed 16 schools, evacuated them. Two of them had some fire damage. We've opened up our hay hotline, coordinated hay and feed, fencing supply deliveries around the state. I have a star fund. We raise money to, help those farmers and ranchers get back on their feet, mainly to buy T-post and wire, because we had several thousand miles of fence destroyed. That's about, as you know, about $15,000 a mile to replace that. So, and I've got my agri-stress helpline up. That's a mental health helpline / suicide line. I don't like that word, but that it is what it is. So it's a specialty, though. My folks are specifically trained in agriculture and how to respond. They have over 300 hours of agriculture training. So not only can they address their mental health needs, but they can refer them to the USDA. There's several programs over there, to the SBA, to the Texas Department of Agriculture. Farm Bureau has a relief program, Southwestern Cattle Raisers. So they know all these assets. Plus, on top of that, they can get them some mental health issues. So that's a quick down and dirty as to where we are. I've raised about $900,000 to help those farmers. We'll get every penny of it. We don't keep any out for admin or anything else. So we'll get it all back to the farmers and ranchers up there.
Sid, I've not had a fire directly at our place. We've had the floods of 2019, which affected many of my neighbors. I was at 3 of the significant fires that happened in the state of Kansas in the past 10 years. And there's a couple of things behind that. There's just nothing that parallels the damage of what fire does to not only facilities, but to animals and unfortunately people. But the other part of that is that you see the best part of America, because before the fire is even mentioned, people sending it to a region to help. There's no place to go yet, and people are starting to send it. That's kind of generosity that we see in these times of need.
Well, I'll give you one example, kind of an extreme example. Everybody knows Alabama's over on the East Coast, right? That's a long haul if you ever drove over, that far on the east side, actually. So Alabama, the ag commissioner got together with me, the Alabama Cattlemen's Association, and the Alabama Truckers Association. They wanted to help us out. So far this week, they have sent us 17 trailer truckloads of hay, all the way to Borger, Texas, in the Texas Panhandle. I don't know how many miles that is, but that's a long haul. Well over 1,000 miles, maybe 1,500 miles. So that's the kind of help we get. We've got the same kind of help from other states, South Carolina, Minnesota, dozens of other states. And Texans are also generous too. The problem is we don't have much hay. We went through 2 really dry springs. We didn't make any hay. We've had rough winters, so we just about fed it all up. Not much hay here.
And you had some moisture, which actually didn't help you with the fire situation because you probably had more fuel on the ground to create more fire.
Well, we never got any good rains during the fire. We got some
Right.
good days. Humidity went up and the winds died down. That allowed us to start pinching those fires in. It took us.
And just like that, Sid is gone, and his
Lost you.
signal. Yeah, no worries. That's technology for us and what we deal with when
All
we're
right.
live.
I had a
Sid.
phone call come in. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no issue. So you just didn't
Are
get
we
a
back on
fire.
there?
Didn't get a rain during the fire, which rain is the best friend you can have during a fire like that. You with me, Sid?
Well,
Sid,
what
we
I
got
do
you.
here?
We've got you. If you can hear me,